I know that human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Hello and welcome to the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast. Here at Spoilt Milk, we like to discuss, destroy and dissect guilty pleasure movies and decide whether they're truly spoilt milk or if they've ascended into a fine, luxurious cheese. So without further ado, here we go.
Warning, this podcast is full of spoilers for the title feature and there's bad language from the start. If you've never seen the film or you're offended by bad language, you have been warned.
Hello and welcome to another brand new episode of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast.
That's how new it is. That's the shine.
It is. This is another episode that's part of our practical effects season. What have we covered so far? We've covered FX,
Void,
The Void, Ninja Turtles 2,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
And today we're going to be covering Dog Soldiers from 2002. Yes, that's well right.
Oh,
But before we get on to the Dog Soldiers, as always, joined by two people, such lovely people.
Oh.
We've got Katty. How are you, Katty?
I'm good. Tired.
Yeah.
But good.
Is it because you have a new dog?
Kind of. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass. Like, he wants to get into bed with me. He likes to wake up as soon as the sun rises.
Oh, what a dick.
It's such a dick move. Like, especially when you're hungover.
Give it some time.
I tried to get him drunk. I didn't try and get him drunk. By the way. Just like, you can deal with this hangover with me.
You can buy dog beer, like.
Yeah, but alcohol's poisonous to dogs.
No,
but
you
it's
buy
like
dog beer.
Yeah, but it's not going to give him a hangover.
No,
We
but you
don't
can
know
be
that.
like... I just crack open a beer.
Do you think I can make him do like a beer bong?
Just imagine, because I've seen dog beer in TK Maxx. Just imagine them being like, and there's your dog beers, and then, I don't know why someone's guiding me around. And then just to the right, we have dog bongs. And just being the dog being like...
Would this shop that sells dog beers and dog bongs also sell... I don't want to go there, actually. Never mind.
Here at Spoilt Milk, we don't condone any animal cruelty of any kind. Okay, well, we've got a guy who's probably been attacked by more dogs than stroking them. We've got the Hobo. How are you?
People stroke dogs? They're vicious. They never share their food. Don't get it.
Neither do you. I saw you devouring that chicken sandwich earlier.
That you
Yeah.
found in the corner.
Why do people want pet dogs but not pet me's?
Yeah, exactly.
I think a dog smells less.
Yeah, but
That's why we're on this side of the table.
That's because other people clean up their shit for them. I have to clean up my own shit.
Are you house trained?
I've seen a house.
Can
Does
you
that
be
count?
house trained if you don't have a house? Tent trained? Sleeping bag
I
trained?
know I can find a good corner, if that's what you mean.
Well, no one wants you to piss in the house.
In the corner?
I will rub your face in it. No.
That's cat,
That's cat.
that's hobo cruelty.
Cat cruelty.
Well, before we go on to the main feature, we're going to tackle a top three that actually the Hobo put out there.
I am not putting out.
And you wanted to know what were our favourite werewolves? Or
Wolfmen.
Wolfmen. What were our favourite wolfmen? So do you want to kick us off with your favourite wolfman?
Yeah, I only suggested it because of the nature of the film. So my favourite Wolfman is going to be Teen Wolf.
Teen
Okay.
Wolf. Oh, sick.
You know, the original Back to the Future kid.
You fucking
Oh, no, it
Michael J. Fox, don't you?
I'm going to say not Back to the Future too.
Yeah. Wait, yeah, but we talked about this before, didn't we? About the guy in Teen Wolf getting his dick out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
At the end scene. Is
Well,
that what
he doesn't get
is
his
that
dick
the
out, he
wolf?
points to his dick.
No,
No, he
that
gets
scene
his
Back
dick
to the
out.
Future where he points to his dick. But in Teen Wolf, he proper gets his lad out at the end.
Oh, yeah.
We looked at screenshots of
Yeah,
it
we
and
did.
everything.
We
I think
studied
I
it closely.
Struck back from my memory.
Yeah.
Oh, I studied it closer and I've loved
Just-
it ever since.
Yeah, good like
Mesmerised.
good tactic. What dick? What dick in Teen Wolf that I've
Now
repeated?
I've gone back through every frame of Teen Wolf movie and just like watched him jump to see if I can see the motion of his penis in his shorts.
You were like, get it on Blu-ray, or bought a 4K TV, just so you can see that.
Oh no,
pristine
I
dick.
went to China and got an 8K TV.
What, is that such a thing?
Yeah, I think that's such a thing.
Wow.
But there's not any Blu-rays in 8K, so it was kind of useless.
So why do you like Teen Wolf?
You know, it's got
It's got dicks in
It's got
it.
teens and it's got wolves, and I was like, no, that sounds creepy. I don't know.
There's
It's just,
teens.
it's one of those things just from watching as a kid. I can't remember the last time I watched it, but I used to
No, I
watch it
can't.
all the time as a kid. And
I used
really
to love the
enjoyed
bit
it.
in Teen Wolf when he ordered the keg of beer. And he was like, give me a keg of beer. And his eyes went all red. They love doing that eyes red
Yeah.
thing, like Rick Moranis in Ghostbusters or
It
whatever.
looked awesome.
Yeah. But he shouldn't be drinking a keg of beer, should he? He's a
I mean-
little man.
Alcohol's poisonous to dogs.
Yes. Zing. Maybe he wanted a keg of dog beer from TK
Yeah.
Maxx and a bomb.
Have you ever tasted the dog beer?
Know what? Humans can't consume it, right?
Yeah, humans can consume it.
Yeah. Humans
I mean-
can consume anything.
Wow.
It just tastes like the smell of wet dog biscuit.
Oh.
I bought Moose some dog peanut butter today, and it just tastes like peanut butter.
Ah. So why can't dogs eat normal peanut butter?
It's just to do with the sugar content.
But I thought that's how they set dogs up, so when they like talk in films.
Set them up.
Yeah. No, but you know, when you see like a
Yeah.
talking dog in a film, they like smear peanut butter on its mouth and it's like... and then they just dub it going, oh, hi, I'm a dog.
So you know that really expensive peanut butter you can get from Holland and Barrett that was like
Oh, yeah.
10,000 yen for like a thimble full?
Yeah. What country are you in? What country am I in?
8K TVs, yeah, what's going on?
So you can give them that because it's got no sugar in it.
Right.
So this...
It's the sugar.
So
Yeah.
you can buy dog peanut butter that's equivalent to 8,000 yen Holland and Barrett peanut butter.
it's just ground peanuts and palm oil.
That's
Oh, well, I'm going to buy dog peanut butter then.
This
Less
is- it's
calories.
ridiculous.
Get round to mine. I can give you a spoon.
And then you can dub me while I lick it off my...
We can make you say anything.
What would you make me say? Anyway, that's So Teen Wolf, you like Teen Wolf. Is it more about the film than the actual wolf?
I mean, what do you mean by the actual wolf? What are you looking for out of a... Do you want to know what I like
Well,
about the
you've
wolf?
got to you've got to think about, do you like your wolf better than another wolf? Like Twilight Wolves?
Like,
Just turning into one over here.
Well, I mean, he looked good in a basketball uniform.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
He seems
could
very
dribble.
athletic, so these other bigger wolves, they seem a bit cumbersome, so
Yeah.
he could run circles around them with a basketball in hand.
His dad looks like a weird gerbil.
I love his dad. I absolutely love his dad. Do you know what I used to work with? There's a really big guy who was probably like in his early 40s who had long hair and a beard. And my brother I worked with at the time was like, oh, look over there at Teen Wolf's dad. And that just became his nickname. He never knew about it, but for years we were like, oh, Teen Wolf dad. And then his nickname just became TWD. And like he'd walk by and be like, TWD? And like he didn't know, but he was just Teen Wolf's
Would
dad.
he go along like, yeah?
No, he didn't know. He'd like never hear it. He probably thought we were talking about something else.
Yeah,
so we were
something rude.
bullying him, basically. Yeah.
Cruel.
Like Todger Willy Dick.
What's Todd Willie?
DWD.
So who wants to go? Who wants to go next? Me or you?
I'll go next.
Okay, then you go next.
So my favourite wolfman is Wayne the werewolf from Hotel Transylvania.
What, the Adam Sandler?
Yep. Yep. It's voiced by Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, I do like, actually. I quite like Hotel Transylvania. And there are like
don't
3
think
of them
I've
now,
seen
though.
Yeah. I've only seen the first one.
But what about Wayne? Or does he die in the first
He
one?
doesn't die in the first one. He has loads of wolf babies and he's just really tired.
Does he eat the wolf babies?
He doesn't eat the wolf babies.
Oh, I don't know why I'd watch this film.
He's
Yeah.
just a wolf dad. He's TWD, isn't he? Todgy Willy Dick. The only thing with that film is it's got Andy Samberg on true shouty form, where everything he says is, "Oh, I'm shouting!" Like, and he's just a bit annoying. But the Wolfman is
He's
good.
supposed to be like a hipster teen, though.
Yeah, he is. He wears like a Brazil football shirt, doesn't he?
Yeah. Like 90s Jippo clothes.
The weird part is he just went, like, Jip. Like, please. And now we're going to be like, what's Jip? Like, Jip? Who's Jip?
Jip.
So what do you like about Daddy Wolf?
Sounds weird.
What's his name?
Sounds like a
Wayne.
different podcast.
Wayne
Are you
Wolf.
going to say Daddy Wolf Peter?
No.
What do you like about Daddy Wolf? Tell us more.
What do you like about Wayne Wonder?
It's Steve Buscemi.
Oh, right, okay, then, so that's it.
And no, it's just great. It's like it's not what you expect from like a werewolf. Like you expect him to be like these, like the character of a werewolf is supposed to be like this like beast, and it's supposed to be like powerful and like you wouldn't mess with it. And then there's just Steve Buscemi's
Tired Dad.
just tired wolf dad. Just
I like that one. That's a good choice.
It's not what you'd expect from a werewolf.
It's not what you expect from a werewolf.
It's just like a basketball playing werewolf. You wouldn't expect that either.
Or one that surfs on top of a van.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even mention with van surfing. That's a great moment.
Yeah, that is. Oh, your werewolves are both really good. Well, I'm going to go. It's more about the film than the wolf.
I've just
I was
got in my head
scratching-
Wolfman can't jump.
Wolfman can't jump. A basketball playing Wolfman. You've lost it. No, I'm going to go for Monster Squad.
Yes!
Like, I absolutely love the film Monster Squad. It's written by Shane Black, so you know that's always going to have decent writing. It's a film about kids fighting all basically the universal monsters, so Dracula.
It's the better Goonies.
Yeah, it is. It's the better Goonies. Yeah, it doesn't have Slothin. It's got Frankenstein. Basically, it is Sloth, isn't he?
Frankenstein's monster.
Wolfman. The Mummy.
Yep.
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yep.
And Dracula.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's got Van Helsing.
Van Helsing.
Yes. And they've got a little, like, medallion or something that opens a portal. It's just everything that you'd want from an 80s masterpiece. It's got special effects.
A dog.
Shout out for special effects to Stan Winston, the hero, the ultimate special effects guy.
No, I think this is like the second time you've talked about Monster Squad, and I've still not seen it.
We're doing it. We've got
We
to
have to.
Oh
Should
my
we-
god,
should we
practical
end-
effects.
Yeah, should
Yes.
we end practical effects season with Monster
I
Squad?
would
Yes.
love to watch it again.
Okay,
but
I'm
there's
interested.
I won't spoil it then too much, but there's a really good scene where the man who becomes the werewolf is turning, because every werewolf film has to have a good transition scene. And he's in a phone box and he's ringing up, basically grassing himself up. He's like, I'm going to become a werewolf and I'm going to kill people. And he's like, your son's going to die or something like that. But the shot like tracks round the phone box, and as it passes around one of like the corners, like it cuts to him and he's like more transformed. It's just a quality scene. Good, strong practical effects, good werewolf makeup, a nice pulsating back scene. You need a pulsating back scene, don't you, in a werewolf?
I already have a pulsating back.
You do, don't you?
Those are the
like
creatures.
all the maggots under your skin.
Yeah, but they're food for later as well. I've got food everywhere.
I swear we should do one of them pimple popping videos of just squeezing all the critters out your back.
Are you sure you can
It's like
stomach
evolution.
Oh, God. So that's our top three. So mine was Monster Squad. I won't go into it in too much detail because we'll watch it next time.
Yeah.
What was yours, Katty?
Big Daddy Wayne from Hotel Transylvania.
And yours, Hobo?
that? Mine was the Teen Wolf from Teen Wolf.
TWD. Okay, we'll be back shortly to talk about Dog Soldiers.
Oh!
I thought on this occasion I'd ask the question of top wolfmen out to some of our listeners and see what we've got back. So let's have a listen to some of the examples.
Hi, this is Vinny. This is Chris's brother-in-law. My favourite wolfman, I'm torn between two. Wolf from Gladiators, just because of his intensity, and of course Michael J. Fox in Teen Wolf. Who else? Still looks great now.
I'm Layla, and my favourite wolfman is Anton, the mild-mannered alpha male of the werewolf pack from Taika Waititi's What We Do in the Shadows, known for his infamous catchphrase, "We're werewolves, not swearwolves." Need I say more?
My favourite wolf is from Pokemon, and it's a midday form Lock and Rock because it's ripped as a sausage. And my second one is midnight form Lock and Rock because it is super cool. Noah, it's me.
And let's hear from Nick Deere.
My top pick for cinematic portrayals of wolfmen or werewolves goes to the 2002 movie Dog Soldiers. The premise is ludicrous and the werewolves look ridiculous, but the mix of gratuitous violence and dark English humour work perfectly. Special shout out to Sean Pertwee for his standout performance and for delivering the classic line, "We are now up against live hostile targets, so if Little Red Riding Hood should show up with a bazooka and a bad attitude, I expect you to chin the bitch." I'd also like to briefly throw The Howling into the mix. The movie's shit, and the werewolves are even worse, but it was one of the first times I was exposed to full frontal female nudity as a child. So more an ode to 70s Bush than lycanthropy.
And here's a view from the sandbagging son of a bitch Neil Sandland.
My favourite movie Wolfman / Werewolf would have to be from American Werewolf in London. Now this is up there as one of my favourite scary movies of all time. It's brilliant, it's funny, it's scary, and as a kid it just had a massive effect on me. And also there's some great scenes in there. One where he was in the underground, the businessman late at night, and you don't actually see much of the werewolf, but it scared the living shit out of me as a kid, it really did.
Hi, this is Justin, suffering from man flu in Doncaster. And my favourite werewolf depiction, or wolfman of any movies, has got to be Dog Soldiers. Those wolves are scary as shit and tall as fuck, and the film's awesome. Great cast, funny as well, but most importantly, practical. Practical is where it's at. That's my favourite. Cheers.
Let's hear from Jade.
So I would say that my favourite werewolf man would be Professor Lupin, because he's kind of a nice werewolf, he's not too angry, he has good intentions, and Lupin's just ace. I also like Jacob from Twilight movies. He's a fit werewolf, which is quite rare, and also he's a little bit needy, a little bit vulnerable werewolf. So I like that too.
Even my dad chimed in.
An American Werewolf in London, for the year it was made, was an absolute brilliant film. My name's Peter Hammond.
And finally, Captain Blackshaw.
The best ever werewolf to grace movie cinematic history has got to be Scott Howard or Teen Wolf. Because he's cool, he gets the chicks, he plays basketball.
Hello and welcome back to this episode of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast, where we're talking about Dog Soldiers from 2002, Neil Marshall's Dog Soldiers. Katty, have you got a little breakdown of what this film's about?
I have indeed.
What's it about then?
It is. So we first see Cooper. He's on an exercise.
Yes.
He's just running through the woods. He doesn't shoot a dog in the face, so doesn't pass that exercise. So that's to get into like, special forces.
Yeah.
And so he ends up just going back to normal army life.
Mm.
So, normal army life, they're on a training exercise, they're in the arse end of nowhere in Scotland, and they've got to capture the flag of like another team's base. And they're just wandering around. Cooper's with them, Sean Pertwee, the absolute legend.
Oh, I love Sean Pertwee.
He is the sergeant.
Wait, say it again though.
Pertwee.
Pertwee?
Pertwee.
Like he's having a Pertwee.
Yeah.
You don't say Pertwee?
Pertwee.
You're saying
No, you're
Pertwee.
saying Pertwee.
Pertwee.
Like,
Am I pronouncing the T too much?
like there's a hyphen in
Pertwee.
Hyphen. Like there's a hyphen in the middle. Pertwee.
Sean Pertwee.
Is it French? Pertwee.
Pertwee.
Yeah.
Pertwee.
Maybe it's because you don't pronounce your T's as much. You're a bit more of a Pertwee kind of person.
Yeah, but it's Sean Pertwee.
Yeah, that does sound weird. Yeah.
I thought it was
Pertwee.
Seen Pertwee.
Scene Pertwee.
Friends who've seen Bean.
Yeah, see, Pertwee. I'm saying it now. Pertwee. Sean Pertwee's ace in this film. I'm going to straight into it.
He is great.
Yeah.
He is quality, because I never used to be a fan of him when I was
What?
younger. I know, I thought he was a bit, geezer, and he is a bit.
He is.
I mean, that's a stick.
Yeah, but in a good way.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
this, and maybe it's just I needed the time to appreciate the Pertwee.
The Pertwee.
The Pertwee. So they're out in the woods, they're doing this capturing the flag thing,
Yeah.
and then stuff starts to go wrong.
Yeah, they find like a mauled cow. And they're like, oh, what's done this? And it's like, don't know. Looks like a wolf.
Oh, wait, hang on a second though. We've forgotten about because it starts, doesn't it, with his little Cooper's test with Ryan, where
Yeah.
Ryan's like, you've got to shoot the dog.
No, it's covered
but
that, yeah.
we've missed the bit where it goes to, and I mean, you were giving a synopsis, but there's a bit where but you tried your best. But the bit where there's the young couple in a tent.
Oh, yeah.
And he's
she's
like,
got
I
him-
bought you a dagger.
it's a
Happy birthday.
It's a fucking letter opener.
Oh, yeah.
Who buys someone a letter opener?
It was 2002. People got letters.
No knight should be without his sword. That's obviously what you say before you give someone a letter opener.
But it's a letter opener.
Yeah, good point.
What is he like killing here? Letters? Like paper?
Yeah, is he the Knight of Mail? That's a pretty shitty role.
Yeah, well,
Is he a postman?
A postman. Like a wolfman.
A wolfman?
He's a postman.
A postman.
He's a postman with his silver knife.
But why does she give him it? Is it his birthday?
I think
They're
it's
going camping.
I thought it was an innuendo for for him to stick her
No,
with his sword.
Open my letter. Oh,
he started writing his own book or something, hadn't he?
oh yeah.
He was like an author. They're like celebrating that he started to
I
write
feel
his
like
own
you're
book.
giving him a backstory that's not in the film. He's an author, he's fallen on hard times. He just wanted to open some letters to make him feel better.
Yeah, he just wanted like a good letter.
He struggled with opening letters as a child.
I did make a note of fingering leads to death.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree to that.
It don't even say on the plot what it's for. It just says woman gives a man a knife.
Yeah.
A
And there's,
silver letter opener.
there's a weird bit when we get attacked and he's like just floating above.
Oh, but before that, there's a really quite creepy scene where they're like getting it on. She's wearing some nasty ass late 90s clothes.
Yeah.
And then they
Jippo
hear like,
90s.
yeah, and they hear a noise and you just see the zip going up.
That is good.
Yeah, and that's just some good
Because
tension from a zip.
The time it with her. You think
Pulling
it's her,
his fly down.
doing his fly.
I actually also then wrote she literally got eaten out. So we start with that scene. You get this kind of very planted silver letter opener. You're starting to think silver. Film's called Dog Soldiers. And that's when we go to the army guys.
Yeah, that's Cooper's training thing.
A lot of Geordies.
A couple. I think there's 2 in that team.
Well, Ryan is a Geordie because
Yeah.
he's Davos, isn't he, from Game of Thrones?
I don't know.
Onion Knight. Do you not watch Game of Thrones?
I've seen like the
I
first season.
Davos.
Yeah.
That's in my notes
Davros.
as well. Davos.
Dalek.
Yeah.
So he's a Geordie, the guy who was trying to get him to shoot the dog, but he's playing it a bit down in this. I
Well,
don't think he's very
That
Geordie.
bit
trying
where
to
they're trying
be
to shoot
posh.
the dog happens in Wales, but the rest of the film happens in Scotland,
Scotland, yeah.
including the campers who get munched out.
So yeah, I guess Scotland is pretty much like bordering Newcastle. That's what people always used to tease Newcastle fans about.
Yeah.
In that sport footy ball.
Sports.
Talking about football, there's quite a lot of like footy talking. This footy.
Yeah, there was like football chants and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be like, oh, teams. Yeah, teams.
Yeah.
Teamwork.
We're in a team. I support teams.
You like teams. Let's be a team.
Go football.
Have you ever watched a game of football in your life? Did you like it?
I watched regular games of football. But yeah, no, I don't really care about it.
Yeah. So they do that little bit then, and Sean Pertwee tells that Pertwee. I can't say it now. Tells that cool story about the guy with the tattoo.
The devil
What's
on
the
his
guy's
butt.
name? And he's like, little Johnny has a tattoo or whatever.
I can't remember what his name is.
Of the devil because he thought he'd save his skin.
Yeah.
He got blown up, and the only bit of his skin that survived was the bit with the devil on. Guess it worked. That's a summary of what...
basically, in perfect Sean Pertwee voice as well. And that's when the cow gets flung in it, because they're having that little moment. It's all got a bit tense.
Oh, Pertwee gives... who does he give his watch to?
The Geordie.
Yeah. Is it the Geordie kid?
There's a couple of Geordies in there.
Yeah, this film didn't do a very good... It tried to distinguish them. Mainly, there was one guy who really wanted to see the England
match,
game.
Yeah. England-Germany.
England-Germany. It's not a game, it's a war.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Just, come on.
Spoon, yeah. Spoony. Yeah, they all had like little... cheeky nicknames, didn't they?
Yeah.
Coop, Spoony,
but none of them looked
Pertwee.
any different.
Wee.
Wee? Who's Wee?
Pertwee.
Oh, all right. I thought there was just one that like weed a lot.
But they all cast exactly the same kid, the same like white.
Why
kid
are we
with-
calling them kids?
They're grown men.
Yeah, you called them a kid a minute ago. You're right, and then he gives his watch to that kid.
They
I'm
get
like, what?
butchered for kids, you know.
Yeah, they're probably like
There'd be
10
men if
years
they
younger than
survived
me.
the experience. That
Then
come
they
out of
become
it.
men.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the cow splats in, they're like, oh, fucking hell, like, we did a fucking Cohen.
Best impression ever.
So we didn't
Oh, I
fuck
got
a
to
cow.
watch the fucking football, man, and there's a cow in the... I don't know, I can't do it. But the cow splats in, and then in Pertwee, oh, this is where it goes. I'm doing Sean Harris. I'm going into Sean Harris instead of Sean. You know the guy who's from Prometheus. It's like, oh, I like rocks. You know that guy?
No.
No? Oh, right, okay then. So Sean Harris is like, come on and arses and elbows and all that kind of generic military
You
term,
twatter.
whatever. You twatter.
I wrote down some of the best like slang in this. I absolutely
is
loved
great,
it.
though.
Yeah.
But is this the bit where they're just like, right, let's get up and go on, and they start whistling?
Yeah, and they're singing the little songs and stuff, and
Yeah.
you've got some good shots of them like going through fields and climbing mountain-esque things.
Yeah, nice.
It's off to work we go. That kind of song.
Yeah,
They're not
what is
dwarves.
it? First the kids, now the dwarves.
I think I may have watched Snow White.
And then what happens next?
So then they realise that they're getting set up, and they're just like, something's awry here, and then they stumble across another camp,
Yeah.
and they're like, what's gone on here? There's like a full-blown massacre, and there's bodies everywhere. Things have just been screwed up completely. There's bodies.
Entails on the floor.
Yeah, like, just... Things have just been fucked.
And is this where Ryan comes back into it?
Yes, because he's on the floor. Well, like...
Oh my
just
God.
properly screwed up, like he's been scratched all over his like torso.
Ryan's the guy who wanted the coop
wanted
to
Coops
shoot
to
the
shoot
dog.
the dog.
Shoot the doggo. All right.
And then Pertwee's just like,
Oh, don't take his fucking shit. I'll stop doing the voice.
Christ on a bike.
Yeah, Christ on a bike. And it's this way, he's like, no more blanks anymore. Put
Yeah.
your real armour in. And
Yeah.
then we start to get the scenes where it's like, you're seeing it from the wolf's vision, you're
Yeah.
seeing black and white. That's really good. I liked that
it's
bit.
really, and the way it moves as well, it's really kind of sharp, but nothing goes out of focus.
Yeah.
And like it's quick, and it's just
It
so.
reminded me of Evil Dead with the going through the trees and
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that. think that was quite an obvious
But
one.
isn't that also the bit where the guy runs himself into a tree?
That comes a little bit later.
Oh.
But no, that's that first attack, isn't it? Where because it all goes downhill like really quickly. Pertwee gets sliced in the middle.
Yeah, but
that
Ryan
guy runs into the tree.
Ryan tells us what's going on first.
Right, okay.
It's just because they're trying to find the radios, aren't they? Because Spoon's like the radio guy.
Yeah.
And they're trying to find the radios, but the radios have been screwed up by the werewolves. And then Ryan's just like, "Oh, they're smart. They're smart. They've got dog human smarts. They've got a PhD in smarts."
Is it like the bit in Deep Blue Sea where they figure out that sharks can now swim backwards?
Yeah.
God, yeah. We accidentally made them smarter. I hate that bit in Deep Blue Sea.
So this is when shit starts to get real.
Yeah, and some of the lesser characters, the ones who aren't Geordies, get bumped off, don't they? The guy runs into the tree.
Yeah, which is a good. I like that death because the rest of
fucking death.
Well, the rest of the woods are really kind of sparse, and you've got a twig here and a little conifer there, and then all of a sudden it is dense as fuck. It's just wood.
But you think it's a film called Dog Soldiers, you've probably got an idea that it's about werewolves, and then for one of the first guys to die just because he ran into a branch, I thought that was a good little addition.
I thought it was going to be a Wes Anderson style animation where it's dogs who are soldiers. Those essentially shot looking awkward. Boss, I don't think we should be here.
Just wearing a little hat. Holding a little gun in the paws.
Oh, that film's so good.
Yeah.
So a few of them get bumped off.
But you don't see what it is.
Don't you see a shot from his eye or something as he gets ragged off the tree?
You see something in the reflection of his eye, but you still can't make out what it actually is. You hear a lot of noises, but nothing's full on, and it's just is it? Is it not? At that point, you could just be thinking, is it just a giant wolf?
Yeah.
We are in Scotland.
We are.
We're in woods. Wolves like woods.
Wolf territory. And then they stumble down a hill and run into the lady in her 4x4.
Yeah, with a collie dog. Her name is Megan.
Yeah. So this, I just wanted to say as well, I have recently been watching Game of Thrones again, gone back from the beginning to the end.
Nice.
And this film's directed by Neil Marshall, who did The Descent and I did that other film about the apocalypse and the world's ruled by weird women who kill people or whatever.
Okay.
But he directed a couple of episodes, only 2 episodes of Game of Thrones in the whole 7 series.
Is the wolves in it?
No, but they're the best episodes. There's 2, when you look at a lot of them, there's probably 3 episodes where they have got sick battle scenes in, and 2 of them are directed by Neil Marshall. So they must have brought him in thinking this guy knows his action, and he nailed it in those episodes. It's the one, I won't give any spoilers away, we're not talking about that, but proper really good action set pieces. There's a bit where someone gets hacked in half with a sword, someone gets their head chopped off and stuff, and I think this guy's great, and I don't know why he's not around anymore. So do you know what, I think we'll call it time for part 1 at this point. We'll come back to where they go to the house with Meg.
Yeah.
Mego.
News just in. England have beaten Germany 5-1. Good one up the boys.
Oh, beans, chips and gravy, that's fucking Tassimo. Hello and welcome back to part 2 of the Spoilt Milk podcast. We're still talking about Dog Soldiers. We are, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're still talking about
it. Been that
We're not
long
moved
for
on
you?
to another film.
Game of Thrones.
We're not watching FX 2, are we?
We could. Let's just carry on.
Let's
and watch.
Let's not.
We could do an audio commentary to FX2 because I bet there isn't one.
Oh, God.
I'd rather watch Troll 2.
Oh, God. So at this point, we've picked up... we've not picked up. Meg has picked up the guys and taken them to the house. We've got this little cabin in the woods style situation going on.
Is that
here.
the Meg from the trailer? The Meg?
Not from the Meg, the shark, or whatever. No Jason Statham. He would have fit in quite well in this. He'd have belonged.
It's too much. It's too broody.
Oh, is he? Yeah, he's too fit.
Broody.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting from. So they drive back to this house. There's
Sean
a bit
Pertwee's
of
got his belly hanging out.
Yeah, he's been fucked up, hasn't he, in the thing? He's got his sausages spilling out.
Yep. Greasy sausages.
Yeah. Someone says something like, "Little pigs, we've come to nick your video." I thought that was a really weird line when they first
Little
walked
pigs,
into...
little pigs.
Yeah, we've come to nick your video when they first walk into the house.
Because in the Scouse one...
yeah, maybe.
Is
there a Scouse one? I thought it was another Geordie.
Or is he Scouse? He's some sort of summit anyway, some sort of northern.
Some sort of summit.
That's clearly just someone's added it in there because of the wolves. It didn't make sense for the army guy saying it, except for the fact they wanted to set up that it was like wolves.
And the house is made of wood.
Okay.
And some parts of brick.
It's mainly brick. It's quite a stone house.
Every time you go into a house made of wood, do you go, come on, little piggies.
Little pigs, I've come to nick your... Well, DVD player now, because...
Oh no! I thought you'd add it to your collection of VHS players.
Well,
pirate your stream.
I only need one, although I do have a double decker now.
An upper decker?
a double decker.
What do you mean?
An upper decker, double decker.
You got a double decker VHS player?
Yeah,
Why?
so two.
So what would you do with that?
I can tape a VHS whilst watching it.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
We used to pirate Choices videos.
What's that hand movement?
Yeah, it looks like you're scratching two DJ discs at the same time.
I'm putting my videos into my tape, my video deck.
And you still watch VHS?
Are they side by side or one on top of the other?
And the one on top of the other, so it's a double decker.
How do you plug it into your TV?
I don't. I just have it.
What, and it doesn't do anything?
And it just sits there and you look at it, you're like, ooh, look at that piece of history.
What, like a bit of art? That's quite nice, actually. Well, back to Dog Soldiers. So Sean Pertwee's guts are hanging out and that little dog's having a little munch on it, isn't he? And he's like,
What
back
is
in now.
with that fucking dog coming back and just trying to eat people all the time? Throughout this movie...
It's not trying to eat people, it's pulling on the bandages. It thinks it's some sort of game.
I thought you were pulling on the guts.
Throughout the cabin scene, at any point while we're talking about any point of this, just imagine that it cuts to the dog looking at people shitty-eyed. Because it does.
Because it's trying to warn them, like, mate, do you know what you fucking walked into here?
That's what we are. Do you know what we are?
We're dogs, mate.
My boys are outside.
You kids coming in here. We're dogs. That's...
You guys. Why did you... We were trying to give it some sort of, like, gangster persona, and you're like, old man Jeff from down road. You kids coming in here. We're dogs, you know.
See how much speed I've got.
So Sean Pertwee, I keep coming back to him. He's having a bit of a bad time.
Yep.
They knock him out, don't they? They take him upstairs and they knock him out. It takes him 2 punches, don't it?
It does.
Get me a bit harder.
Yeah, so
I said I'd stop doing the voice.
Coops punches him, and then Sean Pertwee just properly gives him a load of crap.
Yeah.
Just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, that's not a punch. My grandma can punch harder than that.
And they just fucking decks him, don't they?
The super glue in his belly back together.
That's a good scene. I like that bit.
They actually did that. That's what super glue was made for.
Yeah. Oh, right, okay. I didn't know that's what it was made for. I knew that Katty's facts. I know that they do use that a lot in like hospitals to stick people together. I didn't know it was what it was invented for.
Have you stolen that from the film? Did they say that in the film?
Oh, do they?
Yeah, but I have researched it as well.
Dog soldiers facts.
Have researched it, but it was what it was made for. Just because it's in a small tube and you could use quite a lot of it, and it just kind of sticks everything together and just holds it while people... And you can sort of break it down as well. It's not like you're stuck like that forever. So they can go and put some solvent on you and it'll dissolve it, and then they can sew you back together properly. But it stops like things falling out or like creatures getting in.
They definitely seem to have like a consultant on the film, because there's a line which I liked when they first got in and they start eating. It's like, hey, you don't know whose food that is. Like, you never wait for an opportunity to eat or something.
Yeah.
And there's they clearly had someone who, if it maybe was written by
They clearly
a
had
guy in
someone
the
that was
army.
attacked by Wolfman before.
Yeah, a Wolfman expert. Yeah. No, yeah, they must have had some kind of consultancy from the army who's come in and talked to them. Even the beginning bit with the dog shooting, I wonder if that was based on something.
Probably. Like, I've been told about, like, paratraining and stuff and, like, what you have to go through to do, like, paratraining.
Would you have shot the dog for
No.
a job?
Depends if it took my food or not. When it's life or death, you know.
I mean, I've seen Hobo naked wrestling with a German Shepherd before. That is not a sight that I want to see again.
Yeah, but he won and he spared my life. Thank you.
So this is where
Such a gentleman.
we're now in the house. Pertwee's knocked out, which is a shame. You want more Pertwee. This is where like the standoff like ends. This is where the film, like pretty much like you get about half the film getting to there, maybe even a third.
But you
and
don't.
2/3 standoff.
You don't notice like the whole of it getting there. You don't think, oh well, this is dragging on. It's like
no, it's rapid.
Yeah, and there's enough in there to keep you interested as well. It's not just like, oh, they're walking through some woods, they're walking through some streams.
What did you think about the love interest that happened in the cabin between Meg and Coop?
There's no love interest.
Yeah.
There's no love interest. She's just an eat.
But I didn't feel like it was setting it up too much. It was subtle that they were like a bit flirty.
It wasn't.
I think what I mean is, if they had have got together, I'd have been like, oh, that's obvious.
He might have punched her in the face.
But they didn't, though, did they? As far as I'm remembering
They
correctly,
didn't
don't
get
get together.
No.
It feels like they were really trying to force it. Like Pertwee kept throwing the one-liners like, "Oh, who's your girlfriend?" and stuff like that, and it wasn't subtle because he was literally saying, "Who's your girlfriend?" or when you're going on a date, or
I think Coops just had his mind on prize though, just getting his team out of there.
Yeah,
he knew what he wanted to do, and if it meant that he was going to have to sweet talk her, then that's what he was going to have to do. But
if he's a natural flirter, like, that's just who he is. He's
like
just
he
a
would have
handsome
flirted
guy.
his way past that dog.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
shooting it.
So he's one of the doctors in Grey's Anatomy, where he's like some kind of sexy doctor that came in, and they were all like, "Oh, he's fit."
Okay.
Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy.
So you can't help that. You can't help being Dr. Sexy.
So do you think they earned the? Are we at the twist? Are we?
We're not at the twist yet.
Okay, sorry.
No, the twist comes quite late. if I
Yeah,
remember
like
I thought
because
it was
we find
about
out that
him.
Ryan's turning into a
I
werewolf.
forgot about that twist.
Because-
He's healing.
Yeah, because like he pulls his big patch off, and it's like he's all healing and stuff. And then they've got to then they figure out like there's something hunting them, and they can see it in the trees, like around the perimeter of the house. And then they go full blown survival mode. They're boiling pans of water. They're boarding up windows. They're doing everything they possibly can to like keep themselves safe, and it's great.
Well, do you know what? We've talked a lot about the story and the plot, but we've not actually talked about the look of the werewolves. Like, what do you think about the appearance of them?
I like them.
I like them.
I think they were smart. They were smarter than a lot of films with this type of budget where they kept to the shadows and they didn't show much of them. The bits that they did show in individual shots, like when they like stood up and stuff, they looked good. But there's some other shots where I thought they didn't hide it too well.
See, I like the fact that they were humanoid.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't just like kind of too like American
like running
Werewolf.
on like all fours.
Yeah.
And
It does like this giant, like weird, deformed wolf thing. I like the fact that it was like more Howling-esque,
yeah.
but less rabbit, like the Howling.
Yeah. Well, I liked the fact that it was like wolfy in appearance as well. Like, it wasn't like the head was quite like a wolf. A lot of the time, you get this halfway, half man, half wolf appearance.
Team
Wolf.
Wolf.
Yeah, Team Wolf. Team Wolf starred or whatever.
It's not bad, but not what you want from a horror film.
Yeah, but this one, I really liked the look of it. I liked how tall they were as well, and gangly. And
Yeah, I like the weird claw hands, and like the fact that they had normal human feet, kind of, but
did we see the feet?
you do in certain shots you see bits of the feet, but the kind of the long, But you've got like little claws and stuff as well. But the hands and things, like the fingers spread was a really good thing.
That. So, and then there's quite a few set pieces then, quite a lot of action. You said we got a bit of like a Lost Boys moment where you're like preparing, like one's grabs that sword or whatever, and they're boiling the pans.
I like that he grabbed his sword.
I do like a good montage getting you ready for the battle.
My favourite bit is the hand coming through the letterbox and it's just hitting it.
But do you know what I really liked, and I appreciated how British this film was.
Oh, totally.
I really loved like how they stop and have a cup of tea and stuff like that, and like you said about him eating that stew and talking about the footy. Just
jokes in there that no one would get unless they were from round here. Well, from this country.
Yeah, like I liked that. It felt it was nice to have, and I know we've got a good background. Like American Werewolf in London is very British. But yeah, it felt good watching a film like this that was.
And as obviously given the premise, it did feel like these people were reacting to this situation a bit more like it was a real situation rather than a Hollywood movie situation where everyone always reacts the same stupid way. This is a bit more the British way of reacting to werewolves attacking you.
Let's just fuck them up.
Yeah. There was that line where he literally just goes, "I'm gonna fuck you up," or something like that.
I just love the fact that like he's run out of everything, like all the weapons he could possibly use he's just run out of, so he's just like, you know what, I'm just gonna fight it. Just gonna use my fists and just fight it.
Yeah, and it works for a bit until he dies.
And then you've got the twist.
So the twist about Meg.
The twist about Meg, and now she's lured them to the house.
Is it? Well, what about the fact? Doesn't she know Ryan as well? Isn't she already familiar with Ryan and the crew?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and she tries to make out as if it's something to do with the fact that she knows the area because she's supposed to be like a scientist, isn't she? Like studying some crap. In like the Scottish wilderness,
and she's been telling them all this time that this is like the only house for like miles around. There's no communication, and they've kind of trusted her on blind faith that she knows what she's doing. Because why not? She was a person who saved them from getting eaten by wolves at the start.
Yeah,
or werewolves.
Is she a liar?
She lie.
Oh no! Did she turn out to be the shark from the Meg?
Yeah.
Knew it.
And the one that swims backwards in Deep Blue Sea.
Fucking sharks! Even in werewolf movies, you can't escape them.
She got smarter. So
this is, but that twist is where I thought you had the trailer shot.
Which part? Oh, the bit where they stand up behind it,
yeah.
And it's all shadowy. That is a good shot. That is a really
good shot.
Yeah. I feel like that's the kind of shot that back in 2002 would have not been the trailer shot, but been a front cover of a VHS.
Yeah.
And when it got to that part in the film, you'd be like, oh, I wish I hadn't have seen that on the front cover.
Yeah, it was very late in the game to be showing that in a trailer, I feel, but it was a great shot, so you wouldn't not show it either.
It was absolutely amazing. But yeah, I forgot what we were going to say.
Well, the twist is she's a werewolf.
She's a werewolf.
Yeah, she's a werewolf too.
Yeah, she werewolf. She wolf. She wolf.
And
they go into the Coops gets into the basement, doesn't he? And there's all the bodies of like the two campers.
Yeah, and
there's like all the bodies. He
knife.
finds a silver knife and he stabs Ryan's werewolf guy.
Yeah.
Well,
Ryan Wolf. Yeah.
Ryan Wolfman.
But Meg Wolf's still alive. And they go talk about blowing up their house there?
Yeah.
No, they don't talk about it. He just blows up the house, doesn't he? Because they've already done the scene where they blow up a car.
Yeah.
But that's just all for nothing, isn't it?
Yeah, they don't mean to blow up the car though. They try and get it out the barn, but the werewolves have already like eaten through stuff.
Oh yeah, but they figure out earlier that the werewolves are all in the barn, aren't they?
Yeah.
They hide in there because that's where werewolves hide.
But is that what Meg's told them?
No,
is it all a ploy?
I think they kind of realise like because they're around the perimeter, aren't they? And like the barn's the only place that's like not there, and they can't see them, and they're just like obviously in the barn,
right?
Which makes sense because people need a nap, even
they
werewolves.
Do. I love a nap. So they go into he goes into basement coop. He blows up the whole house, killing Meg Wolf. He's already killed Rye Wolf. Ryan, not your little wooden toy that we mentioned last time. There is a bit though that made me feel funny about where he puts the sword through his teeth.
Oh.
And it like goes and like scrapes on his teeth. How does that bit come about? Doesn't he like push a sword through someone and it's coming through?
Isn't he stabbing like a werewolf face?
I don't know. It gave me shivers.
Yeah, like, I can't remember the setup of it, but I wrote one of my notes down. I was just like squeaking on the teeth bit. That was pretty rank. So we get some photos over the end credits. We hear that Germany got beat by England 5-1, and that's the end of Dog Soldiers. They think it's all over. It is now.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Love it.
So what are we thinking? Spoilt milk for Dog Soldiers or luxurious cheese? Who's going first?
Well, I'll go first because I did love a lot of the Britishness. There's a couple of particular lines I want to point out.
I hope I give you the shits. That was a good bit.
We might have pissed on our chips.
Pissed on our chips.
Dogs, more like pussies.
These are great.
Yeah. I've got like a whole list of them, and they're just fucking amazing. The line I was on about is it's "I'm gonna fucking have you" is what he screams right before he dies.
Why do I feel like there's a butt coming on here though?
Well, much like Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool 2, there's a butt coming on here,
right.
And I struggle. Like, there's a lot to love, and especially the practical effects side of it. I really did like, and they did that well. That's how I want a practical effects film done, but. The story of the film, I struggled, especially through the start of it. I feel it's a bit like what you were saying about FX. I really enjoyed the last chunk of it, but everything before that, I kept like not even realising that. I kept looking at the time, just like,
oh really?
Oh, yeah. So it's going to be spoilt milk for me.
Spoilt milk for you. Katty, you go next? Or?
Hobo, you're wrong. Soz, mate. But no, it's one of my favourite werewolf films.
Yeah.
Like, hands down. The fact that it is gritty and British and just some of the crap that they come out with, it's like, this wouldn't get made now.
It wouldn't.
You're right.
And just, I love it. I love the actual werewolves in it. I love how it's done. I enjoy the fact that you don't see them till right at the end. And you don't even get snippets of like what they look like up until they're at the house. And I really like that. You don't want to see the werewolf straight away. You want to be able to build up to it, 'cause it just loses all sort of value and just novelty of a werewolf film if you see it too early on, because you're like, oh, I've seen it now. Like, I enjoyed that there was no like full-blown transformation scenes either.
Yeah, because I was saying earlier about, you got to have a transformation scene, but you don't, do you? No,
it's just it didn't need it. And I think if they did have it on the budget that they had, it would have spoilt the film. It would have just made it like just a bit tacky. Yeah,
they worked within their limits, didn't they?
Yeah, and they did it well, rather than thinking, oh, you know what, we're making a werewolf film. Obviously, we need a transformation scene. Instead of that, it's just like, nope, this is what it is. Even with the whole thing with Meg, it's not like she was like all fours, cracking bones, anything like that. It was just, I'm a werewolf too.
Yeah, if you compare it to something like The Void, which we've done, that felt like if they were doing a werewolf movie, they would have put in the transformation scene because they felt they had to.
Yeah, it'd have all been transformation.
Yeah.
Just being an hour and 20 minutes of transformation scenes.
Yeah. So I agree.
So cheese.
I'm going straight in there as well and saying it's luxurious cheese. I fucking love this film. I think it's brilliant. I think the beginning half an hour, 40 minutes rattles along at such a quick pace. I don't know how you got bored with it. I loved all the characters. I just thought it was thoroughly entertaining. I thought the special effects were great and still hold up really well. I thought all the like the word banter, but that kind of like
Bants.
the camaraderie, should I say, between like the characters was good. This the use of colourful language was great as well. I love it. It really holds up, and I think it's a great film. And I would also say it's a luxurious cheese.
I think it's relatable.
I don't want to sound like a sore loser here, but I mean, like the big problem for me is who's the main character is forgettable. The most memorable character is Pertwee, and that's it.
What,
and
Coops? Dog hero?
Yeah.
Hero to man and dog?
Yeah.
Isn't
He's forgettable.
How is he forgettable?
What was his main trait?
He doesn't shoot a dog.
Yeah.
So
he saves his team.
That's a very
he knocks
easy
out
setup
his
to
mate.
make.
He knocks out his sergeant.
Mm-hmm.
He glues his sergeant's
He does some-
greasy guts back
So if
into him.
I'm going to take this and I'm going to be able to apply that to a template of every character.
He does some grade A flirting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Dr. Grey's Anatomy, hottie, whatever. He's just
He
great.
voted him in because he panted him.
When Sergeant is ligged up in bed because he's got all of his guts hanging out and like he can't go on any longer, it's like, you know what? You're not going to die. I'm not going to kill you. You're going to survive this. Which is kind of a lie. But he goes downstairs and he's like rounding up the troops. He's like, you know what? Shit's gone downhill from upstairs. We're going to do this. He takes charge.
Yeah, he does take charge. He
was-
makes a cup of tea. That always wins
He
people
was
over.
forgettable, wasn't he? He had no personality whatsoever.
He didn't shoot a dog.
Yeah.
That's not a personality
What more
trait.
do you need? That's better than your personality, Hobo.
He didn't shoot a dog. Broke its neck. There's a difference.
Well, I think that is it for this episode of the
Dog
Spoiled
murderer.
Milk movie podcast where we've discussed Dog Soldiers and sorry, Hobo, it is a luxurious cheese. Until next time, goodbye, Hobo.
Bye.
Goodbye, Katty.
See you later.
And it's been Chan. Bye.
Ripped to the sausage.